I think identity, when we boil it down, it's who we are, but it's also how the world perceives us. You know, when I was a little kid, I always thought of myself as a boy. But you learn really early on that someone like me is immediately going to be told they're a girl. So I learned to be quiet. I learned to stifle that part of me. But the thing is, about anything that you push down long enough, it will have a bad reaction. And that reaction for me was I completely disconnected from myself. I just mentally checked out so that I could continue coping through life. And it was boxing that brought me back into my body, and it was boxing that allowed me to be proud of actually what I was physically able to do. But boxing also taught me to really be introspective and be like, okay, what do I really want? And how am I gonna have to work for it? Because unfortunately, when you deviate from the norms that society has constructed, you have to fight for that identity and you have to really make it yourself. I think a lot of people in boxing who I talk to, they would come to me and say, you could have been, you know, one of the greatest female world champions. They're like, you would throw it all away to be yourself. And I tell them that's how bad I felt living that lie. If it meant that much to me to risk the love of my life, boxing, then they knew that it was something that was valid. No one just throws away a possible chance at going to the Olympics or being a world champion because this is something that they're half in about. This is something that it's gonna hurt. Living in your truth is going to hurt, but it's worth it. My pro debut was at the Fantasy Springs Casino in Indio, California. There are so many people that have said that it's impossible for someone like me, a trans man, to be able to compete against a non-trans man and win, and I proved them all wrong that night. I walked out of that fight with my first victory, and it was a victory greater than just having my successful pro debut. I think that it challenged a lot of people's assumptions about what people like me are able to do. And hearing my name called and, you know, hearing my crowd and then us being brought to the center, the adrenaline rush of it was the most incredible experience I've ever had in my life. I want to live in a world where being yourself isn't seen as this courageous act. I want all of us to be who we are and to be unafraid and not to have to deal with every obstacle just to be our true authentic self. And I think that's something that's universal across the board and around the world, regardless of your race, ethnicity, class background. So many of us are being forced into these restrictive boxes of identification, but very few of us actually fit. And I want to see all of us be celebrated when we fight against those specific restrictive norms. My name is Patricio Manuel. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I'm the first professional male boxer who is transgender. I may be the first, but I'm not the last.